Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring your dream team. Veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, dog trainer Alan Cable, groomer Joey Villani, communicator Joy Turner, and here are your hosts, Al Abrams and Judy Francis.
On the big show today, Beth Stern will be joining us. Many of you say, who is Beth Stern? And I think that's a strange question. I certainly knew who Beth Stern was. And Judy, did you know who Beth Stern was before today?
Yes, I did.
We actually put on the website, we're having Beth Stern on the show. We put this on Facebook. What kind of questions would you like us to ask her? And I think the only response was, who is Beth Stern? She, of course...
Are we allowed to talk about her husband at all?
Well, here's the thing. We are allowed to talk about her husband. However, I think we should take the high road and not talk about her husband.
Yeah, it's not about him.
Okay.
It's really not.
Why is that taking the high road?
Because, that's a gimme there.
Yeah.
I don't want her to be riding on the coattails of Howard on this. She's
can
an
stand
animal
alone.
lover. Yeah, she's an animal lover. She's talking about animals. Before Howard, she was in some great movies like Flirting with Disaster. And then that one with Amanda Peet, Whipped. Mm-hmm. Good movies. And she's a hottie. But she's
I'm not saying she's not awesome. I'm just saying, Howard's one of my idols.
I
Howard overcame adversity to the greatest extent and became a mega superstar, despite all the executives, despite the man trying to keep him down.
It's really
I worked with him.
Did you?
3 weeks. 3 weeks, yeah, we did Howard Stern Rotten New Year's Eve in Newark, New Jersey, and it was nuts, crazy. But he's a great guy. He's nothing
Joey,
like you think. He's a great guy.
What's his undercoat like?
His undercoat. No, you know what? He has a mane of hair. So, you know what? I can get in there and card that out and, actually make it a little bit. He reminds me of Hal a little bit, actually.
I love that guy.
Well, we'll find out more about his wife coming up.
Yes.
Although I'm very tempted to ask him about his relationship with animals. I'm not going to.
Oh, you can tell he's an animal lover.
Stacy, what are you working on?
There's a new kind of coffin that they've come up with, and it's nobody really likes to think about this, but it is something to think about because at some point, hey, you're not going to be eating breakfast with the guy next to you. It's going to be a different scenario. That's just one way of putting it. But instead of being made out of wood, these coffins are made out of wool. I know it could be a little itchy and it could be a little hot, but they look very soft. I'll tell you all the details coming up on Animal Radio News.
Well, that's a reason to stick around if you just don't want to stick around for Beth Stern.
Exactly.
Well, I want to stick around and see how that's an animal, this is Animal Radio. We're talking about wool coffins here.
Well, wool comes from animals, Joey.
Comes from a sheep,
Well,
right?
a sheep.
Oh, please. So that's where we're going with this. So does cheese,
Sometimes
Oh, let's talk cheese.
Stacy it's a reach for her sometimes, but I'm excited. I'll stick around for that. Also on the show today,
Yeah, I want to know.
pet flipping. What do you think pet flipping is? It has nothing to do with Steve Martin's cat juggling.
See, to me it sounds like...
It's not like the real estate thing, like the house flipping.
Yeah, house flipping.
Is it?
That's what I'm thinking.
It is, unfortunately, like that, and it's a crazy thing, and it actually made this month's Time magazine.
They're claiming they're going to animals that are found and saying that they're theirs, and then they turn around and sell them.
Yeah. Well,
really?
That's all on the way right
Why don't
here.
they just go to the shelter and get these pets and get them out of there? I mean, that wouldn't even bother me, as long as the pet gets a good home.
Well, the shelters these days,
else's?
they'll do home visits. They'll make sure that the animal is fit and that the people are fit to get those animals.
And they should. They should. It was funny because and this is when I was in the height of doing Groomer Has It, and we wanted to adopt another Karen Terrier from Cruiser, which is Karen Rescue USA. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I figured I was a shoo-in, but I wasn't. They came over. They spent the day. They brought another dog to see how my dog would get along. I mean, ultimately, we got the dog. But it was pretty cool that, that they actually went out of their way and did that.
What was wrong with you, Joey?
I'm a little demented, I guess.
Oh, you said you got the dog. You said ultimately you got the dog. And in the beginning you said you didn't get it.
No. I didn't say I didn't know. I don't know if I said that I was.
No, I thought you said you didn't get the dog, that you weren't a fit dog.
I got the dog, but I was surprised that they went through the whole process.
Oh, me too. Even when I got Ladybug, you should have seen the hoops I had to jump through, and I thought I was a shoo-in. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's on the way right here on Animal Radio. Also, we're going to be talking to Lindsey Wolko. She's the founder of the Center for Pet Safety, and they just tested every pet restraining system out there on the market for your car. Guess what? A 100% failure rate. None of them passed. And she's going to tell us about that coming up just in a couple of minutes right here at Animal Radio. We're going to hit the phones next for Dr. Debbie, dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, and animal communicator Joy Turner. Up next.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now at 1-866-405-8405. Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring your dream team. Veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, dog trainer Alan Cable, groomer Joey Villani, communicator Joy Turner, and here are your hosts, Al Abrams and Judy Francis.
Coming up this hour, Beth Stern. Beth Stern. That's what I'm going to call her. We're going to interview her. I'm not going to ask anything about Howard Stern, because I think that's taken the high road. Although everybody wants me to.
Yeah,
but that's her man. That's her husband, shouldn't she be proud? I mean, why would that be taking the low road, talking about her man, her better half? I mean, that reflects directly on her that she chose him. I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but she doesn't want every interview to be about him. She can stand on her own and speak about herself, and she's
absolutely.
as well.
But that doesn't mean you make believe he doesn't exist. I mean, like he's not there.
Why not?
Judy's
It's a
got
natural
issues,
coping mechanism.
Also this hour, the founder of the Center for Pet Safety, Lindsey Wolko. I'm having trouble talking today.
You are having trouble.
Yes, I am.
Are you the real Hal?
I am the real Hal. And she says that all these pet restraint systems that we put in our cars to make it easier to travel with our animals, she says they'll fail. 100% failure rate.
Really?
And so we'll find out a bit more about that coming up in just a couple of minutes right here. Let's head to the phones. We have Brenda on the phones. Hey, Brenda, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
Good. Where are you? I'm detecting a little southern accent.
I'm from Texas.
From Texas. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
We're as big as Texas here. We think we're as big as Texas here.
You think?
Well, that's good. Whatever you think, that's what counts.
Yeah, okay. What's going on with your animals? I have Dr. Debbie right here to help you out.
Okay, we have an older poodle. He's almost 16. And it's always been hard to groom, but as he's getting older, he's getting a little more temperamental.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wears him out. And the last time we took him to a professional groomer, they started on him and then rejected him because they just could not handle him.
Ooh.
And they were afraid of hurting him and everything. So is there something that we can give him before a grooming appointment that would maybe calm him down to where it would be easier on him? We're just afraid it's going to cause him to, have a heart attack, or something.
Sure. Absolutely. Now, you said he's always been afraid of the groomer, or is this...
Not really afraid, but he's so hyper and temperamental that...
Okay. So he's intolerant of it.
He's just a little more difficult, but he's never been really afraid of them.
Okay. All righty. Well, and I definitely see older pets with some of these behavior patterns. They do get worse. And I kind of equate it to the, they're getting old, they're getting cranky, and they definitely lose some of the good behaviors that they've had when they're younger. Now, if he's already kind of been a little cranky at the groomers, you're going to have extra challenges. And there are definitely things we can try. And a lot of it's going to be first, going back to the veterinarian and making sure your pet doesn't have any untreated disease processes, because things like arthritis, cognitive dysfunction, which is kind of like doggy senility, there's other medical problems that if they're untreated, they can make his ability to cope with a grooming visit or other stresses can make it harder. So a pet that's arthritic, isn't going to want to be touched, and they're going to be a little more unhappy about that. So we want to make sure that is effectively treated properly. But if I have an older pet in the double digits, 12 and above, that I'm looking at having problems at the groomer or having something done even at home that needs to be done for their own well-being. There are some natural things I like to start with first, because we also have some concerns with using tranquilizers or sedatives in an older pet. They have more problems with heart, kidney, liver, so we don't want to necessarily drug them up. That's not the best thing. So for me, for an older doggy, a couple things. I love using dog pheromones, which are the scent hormones. We can't smell them, but they can. And these can be in sprays and collars and different formats. And it exerts a natural calming effect to pets. So that's one thing that I might add into the mix. The other thing is I'd see your veterinarian about an amino acid supplement called L-theanine. And it's actually a amino acid that they find in green tea, if you believe it or not, and it causes a relaxing effect. So this is something that we know that helps improve their brain dopamine levels and serotonin, and it actually can make them more calm and better able to kind of relax with normal everyday things. So you can use that along with a pheromone as a natural way to try to cope with this. If I have to tap into a sedative, I am not a fan of just the pure old tranquilizers that you'll get at your common veterinary office. I don't feel they help a lot with dogs that have anxiety problems, and that especially if they're kind of triggered in these older pets. So I like staying in the benzodiazepine category, which is basically in the Valium category, but there's some that I prefer. Alprazolam is probably my favorite for dogs that have either anxiety problems, that we're just looking to take a little bit of the edge off. And this has to be through your veterinarian. So you want to make sure that your pet is a good candidate for that. And kind of look at doing some of those things. Now, and the good thing for other listeners out there is it's so important with your dogs when they're young is that we condition them to grooming experiences. So what I recommend people to do, and Alan, you may have some kind of input here. I like to get like clippers out and take the buzzing clipper to a puppy and just let it kind of touch their body, get them used to some of those things, handle their feet, get them used to some of the hair dryer when they're really young in a non-threatening way. And that's kind of how we can work up to exposing them so that we hopefully don't get a dog that's, so phobic or unhappy about being groomed.
You're the best darn vet ever.
Oh, thanks, Alan.
Maybe we can get him fixed up now.
Yeah, and there are actually, I have a lot of dogs at my clinic that we have to be the groomers for our pets because they have aggression problems when they go to the groomer, and it is very unfortunate that we often, with those dogs, we have to use heavy sedation or put them under anesthesia. So it's definitely not in their best interest if we can get away with other methods.
We didn't know if we maybe tried to learn to start grooming him ourselves, as far as giving him the haircut.
Yeah, well,
might calm him a little more.
For some dogs, and it depends. If he's afraid of the clipper, the sound, the handling, or if he just doesn't want anybody touching him, that's got to be the thing you got to kind of figure out. So a dog that doesn't want to be touched in general, I wouldn't recommend you do it. But if they're afraid of
and it's
new
tough,
people,
isn't it, Dr. Debbie? Like the groomers, they're making money, they're in a hurry, and if a dog gets nicked with a clipper one time, and experiences pain, then they form a bad association, and it becomes very, very difficult beyond that point because you don't know what's going on there at the groomer. You're not there. You can't see what they're doing.
Well, thank you for your call, Brenda. 1-866-405-8405. That is toll free to the Dream Team here at Animal Radio. And for those that have a Yorkshire Terrier, or if you have a Shih Tzu, Pug, or a Mini Schnauzer, listen up. Dr. Debbie's books, How to Be Your Dog's Best Friend, available for the Yorkshire Terriers, the Shih Tzus, the Pugs, and the Mini Schnauzers. Actually, not for the dogs, for the dogs' guardians. And they're pretty informative. I got to say, you're a pretty good writer. I didn't realize that you were such a good writer until I saw these books.
Thank you. And they're all breeds that are so common. I see them every day. So I can just go on forever about them.
Amazon.com is the place to get the book. Download it. We have links over from animalradio.com. And, of course, if you're in the Las Vegas area and you're looking for a veterinarian, I couldn't think of a better veterinarian.
Oh my gosh! I wish Dr. Debbie was franchised.
Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll get my clones going.
Dr. Debbie, clone yourself, like Hal.
Yeah, at least that'd be a worthwhile clone.
Yes, exactly.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
Kimpton Hotels and Restaurants, the very first hotel company to welcome pet guests, goes way beyond just allowing them to stay. Kimpton has no restrictions for size, weight, or type of animal, and charges zero fees or deposits for pets to stay. So when you travel with your pet to New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, D.C., and other major U.S. cities, stay at Kimpton Hotels. Find us at KimptonHotels.com, and while you're at it, enter your pet's photo in Kimpton's 3rd annual Paparazzi Pet Photo Contest.
Hi, I'm Dick Van Patten.
And I'm Jimmy Van Patten.
And we're here to talk to you about our new line of Alpha grain-free dog and cat formulas. And we've been the leaders in grain-free nutrition with our LID formulas before grain-free became a trend.
Our new grain-free Alpha formulas combine multiple high-quality proteins at balanced levels with unique fruits and vegetables for vitamins and antioxidants.
For more information on Alpha and all of my dog and cat food formulas, visit naturalbalanceinc.com.
Fido Friendly is the travel and lifestyle magazine for you and your dog. Each issue includes hotel and destination reviews, along with health and wellness topics, dog training tips, and the latest fashion trends. Pick up a copy at Barnes & Noble, Hastings, or go online to FidoFriendly.com and subscribe today. Fido Friendly is the only magazine dedicated to the travel and lifestyle of man's best friend, and the one magazine your dog will thank you for.
Hey, what you doing?
I'm online looking at a satellite view of the neighborhood.
Huh. What's with all the dots?
Green means it's for sale, yellow means sold.
Gotcha. Hey, is that the house we looked at?
Yeah, I love it. Maybe we should talk to a realtor, make an offer?
Did that house just go from green to yellow?
Yeah, sold. Right before our very eyes.
Buyers are in the market, but there's a shortage of homes for sale. If you've been thinking about selling, now may be the right time. Every market's different. Call a Realtor today and visit Realtor.com. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Hi, this is Park Overall. I am just thrilled about Animal Radio. Please, spay and neuter your animals. Please.
My life is always interesting.
You're such a good vet. I swear. I mean, really. To find a vet like you.
You're such an ass kisser.
No, I'm not ass kissing, girl. I'm telling you the truth. I don't kiss ass, girlfriend.
I bet your wife has you wrapped around her finger.
Well, don't all women have their men wrapped around their finger?
Well, I just don't admit it.
Yeah, no, you are so good. You care and you know what you're talking about, and it's just awesome.
Which one?
Seriously, Deb, how many people come to you that don't have dough and you help them out?
Well, I don't bake at all, so dough doesn't.
You know what I'm saying. You probably don't want to advertise that.
She does a radio show every week. She doesn't charge a penny for any of this advice here. So there you go. She's a giver. She is a giver.
She helps people, I can tell.
Hey, Jane.
Hello.
How you doing? Where are you calling from today?
I'm calling from Reading, Pennsylvania.
Oh, listening on WEEU.
Yes, I am.
I love that station. Those guys.
I know, they're great.
They are.
We love them.
They are. They're locally owned and operated, too.
Yes, they are.
Okay. What is going on with your animals there?
You guys are
and they eat cheese sandwiches there in the kitchen.
Okay, what's going on?
Yes.
I have a 10-year-old greyhound.
Uh-huh.
And she's unlike any other greyhound that I had in that she's very picky as far as what she wants to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I could probably fill her bowl like forever and to the top, and she'll only eat a certain amount. When I am away for a while and she has to board somewhere, she can be very fussy and sometimes won't eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I can never really keep weight on her. So I have the whole opposite problem of people who need to take weight off their dogs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I can never really keep weight on her.
Yep,
so,
you have Jack
no matter
Sprat.
what I feed her. And she'll be even picky as far as with treats and things like that, too. So yeah, if she wants to eat them, she will. If she doesn't, she won't.
Now, have you had her for all of the 10 years, or did you just get her when she was
I actually got her when she was just about 2 years old, which was pretty young. They usually come off the track around 5 years old if they've raced at all.
Okay.
She did not race. She never made it to even attempt to do that. So.
Okay. And have you fed her dry food all that time, or canned food, or people food?
Sometimes I'll mix in some other things. I'll even sprinkle some cheese, some shredded cheese, which she loves. She does like that, but, she'll pick through certain things and then only eat in a certain amount.
Mm-hmm. Well, a picky eater can definitely be very frustrating. And normally the callers I get about picky eaters, they're usually small breeds of dogs, toy breeds that just kind of turn up their nose at things. So it's a little bit different having, a large breed dog with this. But greyhounds are kind of like cats. I got to say, they're just kind of different.
They are unique dogs.
Yeah, they're very different. They're not your normal dog. So a lot of, I guess, feeding strategies that we would have is sometimes the desire to dress the food up is very real. And I can't see your dog, so I can't say how thin or not thin she is. But for me...
Well, she's, you can see, her ribs. She's not, right now she's not totally underweight, but she was when I came back from vacation. She had lost quite a few pounds. Mm-hmm. And a lot of ribs were showing, but, and that's why I didn't know if maybe, adding a bit
let me
more.
tell
I
you
don't want to, of course she's getting to be almost a senior dog too.
Exactly.
So whether there's issues that way too.
Well, and that was going to be the first thing, is that greyhounds, the number one thing I think of with greyhounds when we get to that age is rotten teeth. They are just not a breed that has really good periodontal health. Right. So for me, I would want to make sure that you've had her teeth cleaned, that we're in good health, because they are some of the most rotten mouths that we encounter in veterinary practice. Greyhounds just from 2, 3, 4 years of age, they've already got really severe periodontal disease and are losing teeth.
For a big dog they're not noted further.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that I would want to make sure. And if your vet hasn't done some current lab work on her, make sure by all means that you do that, because there definitely can be things under the surface, kidney disease, liver issues, stuff like that.
Because I was going to have her teeth done, and she did have some issues with her blood work, and then she didn't have her teeth done, although I was able to scrape some stuff off of her teeth, so they're not super bad.
Okay. Well,
nothing that's like really,
all right.
Like
well, if they found something, if they found something on her lab work that was abnormal, that's, as a veterinarian, the first thing I got to go back to is if there's a health disorder that we need to address in some way, that kind of changes the recommendations entirely. So a 10-year-old dog that's not eating, that has something abnormal in blood work, we have to address that. Because dogs with kidney disease very commonly will lose their appetite from something called uremic gastritis. So no matter what we throw at them, and what we put in that bowl, they may not eat really well. Yeah. So that can be something that trying to overcome that can be very difficult. So we'll probably need a little more info on the background of the lab work. But what I will tell you is that what we will often do if we have a picky eater is I like something called hot dog soup. And I use this a lot for dogs that are picky eaters. And you basically take hot dogs, you boil it, and you use the water. You don't have to always dress a dog's food with other food items. So sometimes just the moisture and the kind of the essence of the hot dog, how wonderful it is, you can add it to the dog's food, and it kind of makes it a little bit more appetizing. And for a dog that may have some dental issues, it softens the food, so that also makes it more appetizing. But if we just have a picky eater who is just picky because of behavioral issues and not a health issue, I want to make sure we have good structure. So you got to make sure that you put the food down at set times and that it comes up at set times. That is very important for a dog that is a picky eater. We want them to know when the food is going to be provided and when it's going to go away. The other things that we'll do, and a 10-year-old dog may not be the best candidate for this, but we find different types of ways to incorporate food. So we might have the little food dispensing toys that they can kind of shake around or chew on or play with that will drop little kibbles out, and that makes it fun, makes it more interactive. Because some dogs are like cats; they just don't like to go up to the bowl and eat. They want to kind of use it like prey, so that makes it more fun. And if your pet is one that we can exercise, it is a known fact that dogs that exercise more eat more. So if I have a little dog that doesn't like to eat, a little poodle or a teacup chihuahua, I'll tell the people, get your dog on a leash, take it for a walk, get it out, get it swimming, get it doing something, because when they come back to that bowl, they're going to have an appetite. So that's another thing you can definitely think about trying to add in there. But Alan, I hear you.
Yeah, the more focus, and I can tell, you talk about dressing the food up, and the more this dog learns by not eating that he's going to get your attention, that he's going to get you to dress up his food, that he's going to get you to give him different things, the more he's going to use food to manipulate you and not eat. Because he's already learned that by not eating, he gets different things, he gets your attention, he gets you to jump through hoops. A dog, most of the time, when people say their dogs are finicky, it's because they are so obsessed with getting their dogs to eat, they don't realize that their dog is controlling the entire situation. And like Dr. Debbie says, if a dog exercises a lot and you just stick the food there and just walk away and go about your business, the dog will eat when the dog gets hungry. Now, a dog that's been given people food and all these different variations of for a long period of time, it's going to take a while before he says to himself, hey, it ain't working anymore. You know, she's not giving me cheese. I better eat this. That's what they do. They learn to manipulate you, and you don't even realize it's happening.
Jane, I hope that helps you there. Thank you for your call today, 1-866-405-8405. That is toll-free to the Dream Team. Dog Father Joey Villani, Dog Trainer Alan Cable, Dr. Debbie, and Joey Turner. And this pet flipping thing that we've been talking about right in the front of Time Magazine, pet flipping, it's now a thing. Yeah, it is a thing. What is it? Well, in a typical pet flipping situation, a criminal will get a hold of a pet either by stealing it, or they'll see an animal in the pet found poster or an ad on Craigslist. And then claiming to be the owner, they turn around and sell it for a quick profit. So I encourage you, especially in your use with Craigslist, you shouldn't put your animals up there if you're trying to get rid of them.
Yeah, not a good thing to do.
Unsavory people, you really need to make sure that you're releasing your animal to the right person. A little warning from the old Hal Meister and Animal Radio.
Dogs or cats, horse or emu, animals are people too.
When police rescued an African gray parrot from a Tokyo rooftop, they had no idea where he came from. The parrot spent a night at the police station and then was transferred to a nearby veterinary hospital. According to the police, the parrot hadn't said a word, but a couple days into his stay with the vet, he suddenly said, "I'm Mr. Yosuke Nakamura." He then recited his full address and entertained the staff by singing some songs. The police checked the address and found Yosuke's very relieved family, who explained that they had been teaching the parrot his name and address for about 2 years, which sounds a lot more useful than Polly Want a Cracker? I'm Britt Savage for Animal Radio.
Animals are people too. Animal Radio.
Hey, this is Cesar Milan. When I'm not doing the dog whisper, I'm listening to Animal Radio. Stay balanced.
For dogs, like people, arthritis is the most common health problem, and joints are stressed even more with increased activity in spring. Flex RX is a new way to safely and effectively treat canine joint health problems. All natural Flex RX doesn't mask symptoms like other products. It's clinically proven to restore healthy joint function. With Flex RX, your dogs can enjoy an improved quality of life they've earned and deserve. Flex RX is available at pet shops, retailers, or visit prolabspets.com.
What dog food is specifically designed to reduce the risk of cancer, settle digestive upsets, reduce scratching and shedding? Canine Caviar. What dog food reduces red tear stains and hot spots? Canine Caviar. What dog food has probiotics that reduce the chance of soft stools and have a higher calorie count for better nutrient absorption? Canine Caviar. So what are you feeding your dog? If you didn't answer Canine Caviar, visit caninecaviar.com today and get your pet started on a longer, healthier life.
Hey, what you doing?
I'm online looking at a satellite view of the neighborhood.
Huh. What's with all the dots?
Green means it's for sale, yellow means sold.
Gotcha. Hey, is that the house we looked at?
Yeah, I love it. Maybe we should talk to a realtor, make an offer?
Did that house just go from green to yellow?
Yeah, sold. Right before our very eyes.
Buyers are in the market, but there's a shortage of homes for sale. If you've been thinking about selling, now may be the right time. Every market's different. Call a realtor today and visit Realtor.com. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Shaquille O'Neal for new Icy Hot Advanced Cream.
I know all about living with pain. After 19 years of pro ball, man. But now I'm feeling awesome. New Icy Hot Advanced Relief is the real deal.
Icy Hot Advanced Cream has 2 maximum strength ingredients to last up to 50% longer. Works great on shoulders, backs, knees, even arthritis. Icy to dull the pain and hot to relax it away.
Come on now. Advance past pain and get on with living.
New Icy Hot Advanced. Available in cream and patch.
Pain over.
Use only as directed.
This is an Animal Radio News Update brought to you by Drs. Foster and Smith Pet Supplies, with thousands of quality products at low prices every day, so you save on every order. Visit fosterandsmith.com.
I'm Stacy Cohen for Animal Radio. Scientists in Utah are revealing some details about a brand new dinosaur species that's been discovered. Dr. Alan Titus says the animal's unique features show just how diverse dinosaurs were in the southern U.S.
This animal, to me, has become the poster child for the uniqueness of the dinosaurs in the southern U.S. At some point in the past, these two groups of animals were isolated from each other and started evolving in completely different directions.
Titus has been key in researching this new species. It was found on the Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument in the southern part of Utah about 7 years ago. Paleontologists talked about the new dinosaur find at the Natural History Museum in Salt Lake City. The species was part of the Triceratops family, and it had one horn over its nose and the other horn over its eyes. A funeral director in Scotland has found a way to help people stay environmentally friendly in the afterlife. That's always a good thing, right? According to the Scotsman, John Fraser and his sons are offering their customers the option of using a woolen coffin rather than the standard model made out of wood. I would think that would be so hot. I mean, can you imagine in the summer? You'd be just dying from the heat. Oh, quiet. They explain that the softer caskets are made from 100% British wool, and they're supported by a strong recycled cardboard frame, and then they've got a cotton lining. They also come with a personalized nameplate and a biodegradable waterproof base. You need that nameplate just in case you get lost in the afterlife. Vicki Fraser, who runs a business with her dad, says the demand for the alternative is growing. She adds that many people are impressed with how comforting the woolen coffins feel. Recreational fisherman Elliot Sudal doesn't like competing with sharks. On the other night, he pulled a 200-pound sandbar shark from the water with his, ready for this, bare hands in Nantucket, Massachusetts. That's my kind of man. The shark was reportedly eating the blue fish, and Sudal wanted to catch it. So Sudal told the New York Daily News he caught the shark on his fishing line, and when it had tired, he ran into the water, snatched it up by the tail. He released the shark so it could go back to hunting. He also told the paper he's pulled dozens of shark from the watery home because, quote, there's something satisfying about catching something bigger than you. How about a disease? An alligator that's been roaming around ditches in Gulfport, Mississippi has finally been caught. Police say the gator was caught while sunbathing yesterday near a UPS building. Officers used a catch pole typically reserved for dogs to nab the animal. The 3.5-foot gator will be relocated to a safer place away from neighborhoods. I'm Stacy Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update brought to you by Drs. Foster and Smith Pet Supplies. Visit fosterandsmith.com for pet supplies selected by veterinarians with 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Doctors Foster and Smith, your trusted source for quality, affordable pet supplies. Veterinarian owned with veterinary expertise behind every product. Doctors Foster and Smith has thousands of name brand pet products, including pet medications, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Low prices every day so you save on every order with free shipping on orders $49 or more. Fast service delivered right to your door. Shop online at fosterandsmith.com because your pet's health and happiness come first.
What dog food is specifically designed to reduce the risk of cancer, settle digestive upsets, reduce scratching and shedding? Canine Caviar. What dog food reduces red tear stains and hot spots? Canine Caviar. What dog food has probiotics that reduce the chance of soft stools and have a higher calorie count for better nutrient absorption? Canine Caviar. So what are you feeding your dog? If you didn't answer Canine Caviar, visit caninecaviar.com today and get your pet started on a longer, healthier life.
What do you think about when you're driving? Music? Sports? We think about nice, big, fluffy piles of insulation and filters and motor suspension and water projection and things like that. We're Bosch, and we are the quietest dishwasher brand in the U.S. You could say we wrote the book on quiet, and the next chapter is flexibility. Nearly every Bosch dishwasher now features a third rack that holds silverware and whisks and tongs and spatulas and increases your loading area up to 30%. How did we do it? Well, as we said, we're Bosch. We think about things like that. Come see what we've invented for you.
See the complete line of Bosch dishwashers at Best Buy or visit bestbuy.com/Bosch. quietest dishwasher brand in the U.S. based on an average of sound ratings on Major Brands websites. Major Brands defined as Trackline Top 10 Brands, March 2013. 30% more loading area compared to a Bosch dishwasher with 2 racks.
This portion of Animal Radio is brought to you by Kimpton Hotels. They are the pet-friendliest hotel in over 50 major U.S. cities. And you know, besides the amenities like the plush pet beds, pets stay free. 0 fees, no size or weight restrictions. Amazing, huh? Find out more about Kimpton Pets program by calling 1-888-KIMPTON. That's KIMPTON. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the dog father, Joey Villani.
You know, these Kimpton hotels, too, though, are real plush.
They are.
You know, we leave that out, but it's like a 5-star hotel there that you're staying in with your pets.
I got to stay in the one in San Francisco, I forgot the name, the Argonaut. And they really roll out the red carpet for not only you, but your pet.
Anyway, now what I want to talk about today, because people have been bringing this up to me and about brushing and combing your dogs. And people have a misconception about if you cut your dog down short, that you don't have to brush and comb your dog, and that is the biggest fallacy in the world, and it's only going to cause more problems in your household. Basically, pets need to be brushed and combed automatically. Every single pet, and I don't care who tells you otherwise, that their dog doesn't shed. Every single dog sheds. Every dog on the planet. We shed. And they may not shed at the degree of some other pets, like a German Shepherd is going to shed a hell of a lot more than a Bichon. Okay, that's common fact, but that doesn't mean the Bichon doesn't shed. So what happens is what a lot of people would do with these dogs, like Bichons, poodles, and all, is they cut them down short, for maintenance. Now, unfortunately, and I hate to say this about my peers, a lot of groomers out there, what they'll do is, just to alleviate some time, they don't go through the whole brushing and combing process. And basically what happens is when you cut that dog down, that hair that now wants to come out, well, it's going to shed out shorter hair that's going to get caught in your comforters and your pillows and your carpets, and it's going to be harder to get out. The other thing it does is because you don't have the natural process, because once you cut that hair short, see, when the coat is a little bit longer, when the dog is moving about, whether the dog is outside or, rubbing against the furniture or the carpet, it's pulling out that dead coat. Now, unfortunately, you're finding in your house, but that process builds healthy, nice new coat, which not only will give it better color, will give it a better texture, but also will keep your dog smelling better. That natural process stimulates the skin, so everything works better. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you brush and comb your dog. And also it's a great socializing tool, especially if you have a pet that's a little bit shy. So, the more you brush and comb it, the more you handle the pet, the better it is. But the importance of it, I can't stress it enough, is because it really does make a difference in that pet's well-being. Not only look, but also how he feels. It keeps them from scratching as much. So it's a process that you need to do. And even if you only did it once a week, you know what? It's still a hell of a lot better than not doing it at all.
There you go. Joey Villani, ladies and gentlemen, on Animal Radio. Let's hit the phones for Joey. We have Woody on the phones. Hey, Woody, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from western Wyoming.
Western Wyoming. Is that where you live?
It dang sure is. All 54 of my years so far.
Oh, wow. That must be quiet and enjoyable and nature-like and all that.
It is. It's 7,000 feet. You can't beat it.
I would pass out at 7,000 feet. I get dizzy going to Denver. Hey, listen, I know you wanted to talk to Joey. What's going on?
Hey, I've got a 2-year-old male miniature schnauzer. I adopted this dog in January, and he's had some coat problems. He was an outside dog. Even in Wyoming, people leave these little dogs outside. I brought him in, and all of a sudden he started losing all of his hair on his back.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons I bought a schnauzer is they don't shed. Well, I've got one that does. And I've taken him to my vet, and lately I keep him groomed down I use wall clippers on a number 2, and about every week he gets to where he just starts shedding really bad.
An easy fix, Woody. And I got to tell you one thing. Whoever told you schnauzers don't shed, boy, did they lie to you. They're a double-coated breed, and any double-coated breed actually sheds more than a single-coated dog, okay? They should have a soft, downy undercoat, and then they should have a wiry top coat. Now, it's funny that you're bringing this up because basically this is just what I just spoke about in the tip that I put out there. Especially on a wire-coated dog that has a double coat. What happens is you're doing everything correct. The number 2 is a perfect length. It's about maybe a little bit more or a little bit less than a half-inch long. The wall clippers are great. But what you have to do is we got to stimulate it because what you're doing is you're removing that top coat. And what's happening is you're building abundance of undercoat because it's not cutting that. So what you have to do is you have to get that undercoat out as well. Once you get that undercoat out, it's not going to shed nearly as much. It's very, very controllable to the point where it's tolerable. So this is what I want you to do. There's a process called carding. Now, carding, all it is a deep combing. They make certain tools out there. Actually, the easiest one to find is Furminator. It's a little bit pricey, but that's all it's made for, is to deep shed dogs that have short coats. So after you clip your dog down, what you want to do is you want to take the Furminator tool, and you're going to go over the coat lightly. And what that's going to do, that's going to remove all that coat that's now bothering you. Now, the question I have, does the dog also have dandruff because of this?
No,
dry skin? Okay.
My vet told me, he says he believes it's dry coat. I'm doing some medicine on his food every day, a capsule every day, and I bathe him once a week with some medicated shampoo that's supposed to help moisturize his coat.
Let me ask you a question. Have you noticed any difference at all since you've been doing that?
I do, and I've done this now for 3 weeks, and about a day or two before his normal bath day, you'll start seeing it. He rides on my lap everywhere I go, and I'll start seeing a lot of shedding on my shirt about a day or two before it's time for his bath.
I'll tell you what, I know it's exactly what I'm thinking is happening. When you're bathing the dog, the bathing process is helping remove that loose undercoat, but it's not removing it enough. Okay, so what's happening is it's in that process that right before a bath it's shedding heavily, and then when you bathe the dog, it's reducing it, but it's not getting it out enough. So if you can, go out and get that tool, Furminator, use that, and you would use it just like you would use a rake, basically. You're going to rake through the coat, not real hard at all, just enough that you're going to start to see the undercoat come up, and you're going to notice a drastic change in your dog's color. It's going to go from the lighter color that it is to a little bit darker, okay? And basically what that's doing, it's pulling out that dead hair, because that dead hair is dulling out the coat that's hidden underneath it. And once you start seeing that, you're also going to get beautiful color back in your dog's coat. Your dog's coat's going to look a hell of a lot healthier, and it's going to grow in thicker, but it's going to shed a hell of a lot less. Try that. If I had to place a bet here, if I was in Vegas, I'd put all my money on that. Okay.
Can this be done while I shower him? This is one of the few dogs I've ever seen that will literally jump in the shower with you and doesn't mind a bit.
You know what? And without seeing your dog, I don't know. And this is what I would say. I would say you can definitely try it in the shower. And if you're getting out the undercoat, which you're going to know right away, you're going to be pulling out hair, and it's only going to pull out really what needs to. I mean, if you're pulling out anything else, the dog is going to let you know right away that he doesn't like it. So if it's coming out, absolutely, no problem. If it's not, then you'd want to do it dry.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Woody.
Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. They're listening on the western slope of Wyoming, backwoods there, Animal Radio, everywhere you are.
That sounds nice. Maybe we should go broadcast from there.
I'm thinking so.
I'll go to Woody's house.
It's Animal Radio. Toll free. Here's the number. Write it down. 1-866 405-8405. 1-866-405-8405. That is toll free to the Dream Team. Dr. Debbie, dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, and of course, animal communicator Joy Turner. That's where we're going right now. We have Tammy on the phones. Hi, Tammy.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Where are you calling from today?
Doche, Mississippi.
Doche. It sounds French.
It is French. It's between Pascagoula and Biloxi.
Okay. Well, I got Joy Turner right here.
Thank you so much.
How can I help you?
Joy. we have a rescue, and I believe she's going blind, and she's very, very skittish. I mean, she's spoiled. We are very good to her. We're so happy to have her. But just lately, she's beginning to tinkle inside instead of outside. She has a little doggy door. And I just want her to know that, that it's okay out there. She's got a fenced-in yard. We have another dog that's crazy about her, and that she's safe and that everything's okay. I don't want her to be scared.
Okay, and tell me this dog's name, the rescued one that's having the issues.
Well, her real name's Bailey, but we call her Doodlebug.
Okay, she prefers the Doodlebug, actually.
She does?
She does, yeah. That's because, and the reason for that is that's your kind of love name for her.
Mm-hmm.
So she's always going to prefer that. And she wants me to tell you that she understands to you it's safe, but she's really having a hard time with the not being able to see very well. And it makes her just generally overall fearful because she before used to be so dependent on her sight, and it's very hard for her. So my suggestion would be to see if you can get your other dog to sort of lead her. She, first of all, is not always real clear where the doggy door is. So if you could put something that would be a smell, that would be just, for instance, maybe an essential oil that would be a smell only at the doggy door.
Okay.
Then she'd be able to find that door better. And you'd have to put it on both sides, inside and outside, so that when she was trying to come back, she could also find it.
Okay.
And the other thing I would do for her is to put some different than the door smell. Again, could be essential oil. Outside, you'd have to renew it a lot more often. But put that around all three sides of the boundary of the property because she's not sure exactly where that is either anymore.
Okay.
And that'll make her feel more secure because then she'll have her smell for boundaries instead of wondering if she's going to, oh, where did I get in my whole big world? Where did I get to?
So she's ran into something one time about broke my heart.
Yeah, so a really good thing would be choose a boundary where she can't run into anything. And I would actually use a different essential oil on each side of the yard so that she then has a clear mental smell image of which way she's headed.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, yes, it does.
Because we're not going to talk her out of being afraid if she can't see and she runs into stuff and she's just not sure where anything is. That's just not going to happen. You could talk to your other dog and see if that dog could help her, kind of be like her literally seeing eye dog.
Okay.
Blind dog with a seeing eye dog.
Yeah.
Well, Tammy, I hope that helps you out.
It really did. I do, but and after, does she feel safe here?
She does feel safe there as long as she doesn't have to go too far, and she's especially feeling safe when people are there.
Okay. All right, yeah, we love her so much. I just hate that she's scared, but I will definitely get the essential oils, and we will do that for her.
Perfect. And talk to her.
Okay.
Because she can pick up the pictures in your mind.
Okay. All right, I will definitely practice that then. I'll every day.
Thank you for your call, Tammy.
1-866-405-8405. That's toll free to the Dream Team.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
It's Animal Radio.
Who let the dogs out?
We are moments away from Beth Stern here on Animal Radio, and we just got some tweets in the last few minutes. People definitely recognize who Beth Stern is. Maybe I just ran into a bunch of people that
Finally.
don't. But if you want to ask her a question or you have an idea for questions that we should ask her, you can call me. 1-866-405-8405. She is working with the North Shore Animal League, by the way. That's her connection with the animal, other than her husband being an animal. And I'm going to take the high road. I'm not going to ask her anything about her husband.
We'll see.
Just because that would be too much of a gimme there. We have Slobodchikoff on the phone with us. Did I even get your name close?
That was very good. Exactly on.
You are an animal behaviorist and a professor emeritus with the biology department of Northern Arizona University, and you're talking with animals, it appears, from what I'm reading. Is that correct?
Well, not exactly, actually. What I'm doing is I'm decoding animal language and trying to understand what animals are talking about, and I'm also writing about animal language in my book, Chasing Dr. Dolittle.
What kind of animals are we talking about?
Well, I've specialized in working with prairie dogs, where I have found that prairie dogs have alarm calls that have words for different predators, such as a word for a coyote, a word for a dog, a word for a human, a word for a hawk. And within those words, they can describe the size and shape of the individual predator. They can describe, for example, the coat color of dogs, the size and shape of dogs. They can describe the color of clothes that humans are wearing, the size and shape of humans. So it's a very sophisticated animal language that they have.
Wow.
And you can understand their language?
Well, I can understand it by use of technology. What we do is we record the calls, we put the calls into a computer, then measure various aspects of the calls, put this into a statistical program that tells us which parts of the call are relevant to what and which parts contain information about what kinds of things.
Can you duplicate the language and speak back to them?
We are working on that. Actually, we have been working on that. So what we have been using is we have, with a computer science colleague of mine, we have developed artificial intelligence programs or techniques that allow us to record the call, have the computer analyze what the call means, and spit back to us potentially in English what the call means. And then we also have the potential to say something in English, have the computer synthesize the proper sounds in prairie dog language, and play it back to prairie dogs as a meaningful sound. So we have the potential for doing this kind of back and forth kind of thing. And this is where I think that down the road, applying this same technology in 5 to 10 years, we'll be able to develop perhaps apps on a cell phone that would allow us to talk to dogs at some basic level, talk to cats at some basic level, maybe talk to farm animals at some basic level.
Hey, Joy, I think this is going to put you out of business.
Well, it's a good possibility. And that's okay. I mean, I think we should all talk to our animals and be able to hear them back.
Well, you know, they say that cats never really vocalized much until they interacted with humans, that they never spoke to each other, but they speak a lot to us. And our cat has specific sounds we've noticed when it sits at the door, if it wants to go out, or if it wants food. It has specific cries, and they are different.
Yeah, are those universal among cats? Like, would one cat understand what another cat was saying?
Well, surprisingly, we don't really know very much about cat vocalizations. We know that cats have at least 35 different kinds of vocalizations, and some of them seem to be universal, like when a cat sees a bird, it makes a particular kind of clicking sound. When it sees an insect, it makes a slightly different clicking sound. But we don't really know all that much about cat language, and we have only started exploring the world of cats relatively recently. For example, not that long ago, we thought that cats were solitary animals who were quite happy to be off by themselves. And then when people started looking at semi-wild cats, they found that cats were actually very social animals that liked to socialize with other cats that they were related to. And so we are starting to find out much more about both the social structure and the vocalizations of cats. But we have a ways to go.
Why did you start out with prairie dogs? Why were you guys sitting around? You're like, well, which animal are we going to try to communicate with first? Why did you pick prairie dogs?
I picked prairie dogs because it was a convenient thing to study. I initially started studying beetles that mimicked other beetles that had defensive secretions, and along the way, I became allergic to these beetles. And I had to work on some kind of research project for my job, so there were lots of prairie dogs around, and at that time I thought, we don't really know that much about the social system of prairie dogs, so let's work on that. And then I noticed that they had alarm calls, and I realized we don't know very much about the alarm calls, so I started studying that. And once I got involved with studying the alarm calls, every experiment that I did showed that the alarm calls were more and more and more complicated than I had previously assumed. So we just kept dissecting, doing more and more sophisticated experiments and dissecting to see if we could find the limits of the alarm calls. And we still haven't really found the limits of the alarm calls. It's probably even more sophisticated than I've made it out to be.
Wow.
I think you're onto something. I always thought that animals can talk, and English, by the way. They just opt not to because they have no reason.
They're smarter.
Prairie dogs haven't spoken to us in English yet.
Okay. The website where people can learn more.
They can go to the website for the book, chasingdrdoolittle.com, and there they can find out both about my book and links to me.
I'd love to get a copy of that book. We should have that book in studio. Can you grab that, Judy? We'll give some away to listeners.
Is it already out?
It's already out. It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and in most major bookstores, too.
Okay. Well, Con, we appreciate you spending time with us and all the work that you're doing. Con Slobodchikoff.
Thank you.
I think I got the name pretty close there.
Yeah, good luck getting the prairie dogs to call him. Hey, Slav Slobodchikoff. Hey, that's a fascinating waste of a government grant.
Yeah.
Our tax dollars.
You just say that. Wait till 10 years and you can talk to your dog.
I'll find out I won't like what he has to say. I'll find out he's trying to kill me. That would be kind of cool, though, if you could talk to your dog. What do you think your dog would say?
Boy.
Woof.
It would be like on that Up movie, where he's, I love, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. It'd be funny to, if dogs could talk and you had a stand-up comedian dog.
3 cats go to a bar.
I see. You took the words right out of my mouth, Joey. I was going to say, hey, 3 cats going to a bar. There was a Siamese, a Persian, and a tabby.
Joey, do our animals ever say jokes to each other? Do they have a sense of humor?
They do have a sense of humor, although it's not typically like our sense of humor because they're more literal.
Sure.
They laugh.
Yeah, because, a dog will start a joke by going, yeah, so I was eating poop.
Pretty soon cats will be saying that dogs are racist, will have problems, they'll be censored.
Oh, yeah.
Sensitivity training. Leave it alone.
Listen up. If you are an XM listener, you listen to Animal Radio on XM. There's been rumors.
Uh-oh.
There's been rumors.
No.
I cannot confirm those rumors, but I do know that shows like Coast to Coast AM and Dr. Delia, they've been discussing this. And so I want to tell you that if you are an XM listener, there are so many ways to listen to Animal Radio. You can find a station in your local city. There are over 107 stations that air Animal Radio. Or you could, of course, download the Animal Radio app and listen anytime, anywhere. So if you're a trucker or if you just listen on XM, go ahead and download that Animal Radio app right now. It's a free download for iPhone or Android. And if you don't have a smartphone, you have a dumb phone like Alan, there's stations in your local city. And, of course, you can listen on TuneIn, Stitcher, and then the podcast from the Animal Radio website. So there's no reason to lose Animal Radio.
Called my phone dumb.
What? Your phone
you
dumb?
Called my phone dumb.
Well, that's not very smart.
My phone's not dumb. Or your phone? He says no.
A dumb phone for a... We're going to line 3 with Mike.
Hey, Mike. Welcome to the show. I have Dr. Debbie right here for you.
Hi. How are you doing today?
Good.
Great.
Yeah, we had a little incident a couple weeks ago where our dog, medium-sized dog, decided that a rawhide chew bone was something that you devour and not chew on.
Oh,
and when I looked over, I could tell the dog was choking because it was thrashing its head around.
Okay.
So I know how to do CPR on a dog from the sides of the chest, but I was like dumbfounded. And I know the Heimlich for humans, but I was dumbfounded how you would do it on a dog. So I had to just dive down and stick my hand down her throat as far as I can get it, and luckily I was able to grab it and pull it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But life would have been much simpler with a Heimlich technique.
Yeah, but that comes into play when we have an airway obstruction lower than the mouth. So if that was in the mouth or in the upper airway, and you can reach that and access that with your hands safely without losing your fingertips, then that's really kind of the first step. If that doesn't work, then we move to the Heimlich. And, in dogs, there's a lot of different techniques. You can do basically a modified human Heimlich. So if you have a small to medium-sized dog, you're basically going to reach up under the rib cage and kind of give 3 to 5 quick motions, thrust into the abdomen like you would for a person. Now, if it's a bigger dog and you're a big person, you can still do the same thing, although for some large dogs, it can be a little hard to kind of handle and apply those compressions. So you can basically lie them on the ground and apply lateral compression to the chest and near the back end of the chest. And that can give you enough force because dogs are a little different than people. We compress from the sternum when we're doing, chest compressions and CPR. You press down into the chest. And in a dog, their chest doesn't really squish that way really effectively. So from the side, you can get some really good compressions that way in dislodging and just getting the force of that push going. So, oh gosh, so scary. So, well, it sounds like now you're still going to feed. Oh, that gets your heart going. Now, what's your feeling on rawhides?
I don't think it's good for bigger dogs. I don't know. I mean, maybe smaller dogs, smaller mouths, they know to be chewing on it. But big dogs, I just think it's right down. They look at it as another bone.
Yeah. And, there are some goods and bads with that. Definitely the dental exercise. One thing for people that love rawhides and like their dogs to get that exercise, if you're not directly supervising like you were, I would never, ever, ever feed that kind of product for your pet.
Right.
But even with cautions, there are some other rawhide styles that might be maybe a little bit less tendency for choking. And those are the compressed rawhides, which are the really heavy duty, not the chopped up rawhides that they squish into cute little shapes, but it goes under high pressure where it's really thick and heavy, and there's not those little knots on the end where they can get those little pieces caught. But that might be one other alternative that has less of a choking potential for you.
Okay, well, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your call today, 1-866-405-8405.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
This is Jane Lynch on Animal Radio. Please spay and neuter your animal. Spay or neuter. Let me say that again. You don't want to do both. Spay or neuter. Let me say it again. Can I do that?
You can do whatever you want.
Oh, God bless. I'm going to try it one more time. Hi, this is Jane Lynch on Animal Radio. Please spay or neuter your animal.
Celebrating the connection with our pets. This is Animal Radio, featuring your dream team. Veterinarian Dr. Debbie White, dog trainer Alan Cable, groomer Joey Villani, communicator Joy Turner, and here are your hosts, Hal Abrams and Judy Francis.
Welcome, my friend. It is toll free. 1-866-405-8405 for the Dream Team. And on today's show, Beth O, or Beth Stern. We're going to find out what she likes to be called. She'll be joining us. Of course, not only the wife of the king of all media, but she also works with the North Shore Animal League, and I understand she's rescuing many, many animals at her house, which happens to be the same house as Howard Stern. So we'll find out what that's all about in just a couple of minutes right here on Animal Radio. What are you up to? You look like you're pondering something, Stacy.
Okay, here's one for you. What does Kim Kardashian and a giant panda have in common?
I can't even guess.
No.
Maybe they both gave birth. I don't know.
I'll tell you. Coming up on Animal Radio News.
I'm not even going.
I don't believe people talk about her. I don't understand it.
I know. Who is she? I mean, I know who she is, but I mean, really.
But what does she do?
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. What does she do?
Nothing. She shops.
That's what I want. I'm trying to understand that.
She's like the Kato Kalin, just at the right place at the right time.
You know what? I just wanted to say something.
Yes.
You said Howard's the king of all media, so
Yes,
that must mean that you're the king of dog media.
I am the king of dog media.
Yes.
And we'll be talking to the queen of all media, because that would be, obviously. Wouldn't she be the queen?
No, she would be the first lady, Hal.
She'd be the first lady.
There's probably another woman who is the queen of media.
Well, of course, Martha Stewart or Oprah.
See, that's what I mean. So she's just the first lady.
But wouldn't the queen be Howard's first lady? You know, the one that went through it all with him?
You would think.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'm going to be talking about how dumb I am.
How dumb you are.
I'm such an idiot. I swear to God, I am such an idiot.
Oh, let us talk about it, please.
Yeah, you know what I just did for the second time this week? You would think that I would be able to operate a coffee maker.
Yeah,
you would think that I could make coffee, you know? And for the second time this week, I have failed to put the little lid on. We got a busted one, so it's got the lid detaches. You know the little lid that's on top of the coffee maker that has the little bubble that tells the thing above it to let the water through? I forget to put that on twice this week. So I got coffee grounds and water and crap all over the place.
What's the matter? What's with Hal today? I mean, what's wrong with you? What's the matter?
There's absolutely
There's something going on here. No, don't give me that. Come on.
It's that whole clone.
How are you?
The whole clone thing is really, I've been off base since last week with the whole clone thing. Today we're going to be talking to the lady who's founded the Center for Pet Safety, and she's tested all of the seats and restraint systems for cars for your dogs, and she says all of them fail. 100% fail. So we're going to talk to her in just a few minutes right here on Animal Radio. Animal Radio.
Hey, Doofus.
Is this Hal?
You're a genius, I tell you. You're a friggin' genius.
Where the hell are you?
Oh, okay, I get it. Yesterday you weren't so interested in talking with me. Now you want to know where I am?
Listen up. Yesterday, I went to get my paycheck. They said I already picked it up.
So what's your point?
You didn't come home last night.
Yeah, I was busy spending your paycheck.
This is a nightmare. You'd better come home tonight, or I'm going to kick the living crap out of you.
Ooh, I'm shaking. Gotta go, buddy.
Wait, don't go.
Adios.
Hal.
See, that's why I'm a little off.
How many are there? How many howls are there now?
We don't know.
Yeah, there might be 6. There might be a dozen. It's a cloning experiment out of control, and it's
how can you tell them apart?
They're like rabbits.
They really are. So I encourage you to spay and neuter your animals and don't clone yourself. Just 2 tips of advice from the old Howlmeister.
We should have neutered Hal.
Yeah.
Hey, what if the Howl clones go out and have little Howl babies?
Okay, enough already, please.
I don't even want to think about that.
Calls
please.
for Dr. Debbie, dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, and animal communicator Joey Turner only, please, right now. Hey, William, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Where are you calling from today?
I'm over here in Windsor, New York.
Windsor, New York. What's up? What's going on with your animals?
Well, I got she's a crossbred black lab and beagle, and I was having a problem with her with fleas, which we got that all cured.
Okay,
but
good.
After we were cured that, she kept having a problem with her butt itching, and also 2 spots on her belly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I use what the heck you call it, for my stomach, to keep my stomach from chafing. So it's a powder, and I was using it on my stomach one day, and she's sitting right there by me, and she stood up and turned her back to me, her butt to me, and I had it on my hand, and I rubbed it right on her butt and on her base of her tail.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't itch all day.
Okay.
So
I gotta know, what's this medicine? What is it?
It's it's jock itch powder.
Like Gold Bond?
I don't know what the brand is on it, but it's a jock itch powder.
Okay.
So the next day, I rubbed it also on her belly and her butt. She didn't itch all day anywhere.
All right.
I don't know. It doesn't bother her. She has no reaction to it. She doesn't try to lick it or anything like that. But it seems to be doing a good job.
Okay, and this is kind of a first for me here, William. Jock itch is kind of out of my realm of expertise, but what I do think of is when I hear about this and how that might be helping her symptomatically. Jock itch and a lot of skin infections in dogs can be caused by fungal infection, by yeast. So I don't know that that's what you got, but the ingredients in many types of jock itch medications are miconazole, and that is a medicine that we do use for dogs that have yeast infections. As far as, that's something I like to preferably diagnose. I mean, it certainly sounds, in your experience that helped and that may have decreased the itch. So that sounds wonderful, but I'm not advocating everyone take jock itch powder and put it on their dog's bodies, partly because there's a lot of other things in dogs that can trigger the yeast infections. And you mentioned that you had a flea infestation, so she probably had some red, itchy skin to begin with. And yeast on dog skin is really common, but it doesn't get into their skin and doesn't take hold unless they've got kind of a red, itchy, abraded skin surface. So in those situations, that may be why she had potentially a yeast infection and why that medicine helped her. So if you have more ongoing issues with this, my recommendation would be maybe stay away from the powder, only because that's a little bit harder to control where we're putting that. There are some wonderful shampoos you can use for dogs. We can do all over body treatment, and that's kind of makes it a little bit more, I think, kind of reasonable to treat a whole pet than to try to splash powder or put some ointments on them. But hey, I can't sneeze at success, and if that helped her, I'm happy for you. I would just make sure.
I use it for myself because I have an overhang problem. My belly overhangs my belt.
Oh, okay.
Well, can I just say, I was just going to say the jock itch powder, my friend, you're right. It's a magic thing. Your computer, when it says you pop open a page and it says done, but with errors. Well, I was sitting next to it with some jock itch powder and dumped it in the keyboard, and let me tell you, it fixed the problem right then, and the thing went dark.
That's amazing stuff.
Immediately.
Amazing stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you would enjoy this dog, though. She's really good because when I tell her, I say, come on, Lou, it's time to take a shower. She walks right in, sits down in the shower, and waits for me to come in there.
Oh,
that's beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's a real good dog, but this happened, and I said, I got to let you folks know because I listen to you every weekend, on XM radio.
Awesome. We appreciate it, William, and give that baby a scratch on her head for us, and hopefully she's not scratching anymore with a magic powder on hand there.
I learned so much from this show. Maybe more than I need to know. 866-405-8405.
You know, we should carry a pouch of jock itch powder, and whenever we see somebody itching in public, we sprinkle it on them like the good fairy.
I'm frightened. I'm really frightened now what I'm going to see in my exam rooms. People are going to hear this show, and they're going to say, Doc, can you just take a look at this for me? And I'm going to be like, no.
Buy stock in it now.
It's just such a funny product, jock itch powder.
We've talked about Stella and Chewy's family of freeze-dried and frozen dinners for dogs. Now we're pleased to share 2 new exotic dinner editions, Simply Venison and Absolutely Rabbit. Both are made with 90% single-source protein and enhanced with organic fruits and vegetables. Each are fortified with vitamins, minerals, and probiotics to be 100% complete and balanced. Stella and Chewy's, the official food of Ladybug, Animal Radio Studio Stunt Dog. Only the good stuff. For more information, go to StellaandChewy's.com.
Shaquille O'Neal for new Icy Hot Advanced Cream.
I know all about living with pain. After 19 years of pro ball, man. But now I'm feeling awesome. New Icy Hot Advanced Relief is the real deal.
Icy Hot Advanced Cream has 2 maximum strength ingredients to last up to 50% longer. Works great on shoulders, backs, knees, even arthritis. Icy to dull the pain and hot to relax it away.
Come on now. Advance past pain and get on with living.
New Icy Hot Advanced. Available in cream and patch.
Pain over.
Use only as directed.
Don't you just hate paying for things you don't need? Man, I do. And that's why I'm here to tell you about PennyBackup.com. We all know about those big companies that allow us to back up computer files and data to a safe place on the web, and that's great. But what makes me crazy is that they make me pay for gigabytes of storage that I don't need. PennyBackup.com is here to the rescue with the same features, the same data protection, the same services, but you pay only 8.9 cents for every gigabyte used. Heck, that's less than a dime per gigabyte. PennyBackup.com continually backs up your data and files, and if your computer gets stepped on by an elephant or your hard drive crashes, you'll be able to download all of your important data to a new computer immediately. And PennyBackup.com is as safe as the other guys. It just costs a lot less at 8.9 cents per gigabyte. Want more proof? Go to PennyBackup.com for a free 30-day trial and see for yourself. See how much money you'll save for no loss of service or security. It's PennyBackup.com.
Animal Radio is brought to you by Natural Balance Pet Food, the finest food you can buy for the health of your pet. No matter which line of Natural Balance Pet Food you choose, you know it will truly be the food for a lifetime. Visit www.naturalbalance.net to learn more.
We'll head back to the phones in just a second. Toll free at 1-866-405-8405. That is for the Dream Team. Dr. Debbie, dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, animal communicator Joy Turner. And if you can't get around a phone, but you can download the Animal Radio app, you can ask your questions right from the Animal Radio app for iPhone or Android. Download it now. It is free and it is fun. Spend hours and hours on the app myself.
Yeah, you're easily amused.
I am easily amused. I like bright, shiny things.
I have to say, I love the app because then you can always have the show with you, no matter where you go.
And if it's, if you're in one of those cities where the stations, they might air it early or late, or it might be rescheduled due to the local football game, you don't have to miss it. You can catch the show
whenever you want to listen to it.
On your schedule.
Exactly.
And if you are traveling,
amazing world.
It is an amazing world. If you are out and about traveling with your animal, you probably have a restraint system that you're using in your car, or you may have one that, like I said, you have one where Ladybug will sits in a little booster seat.
Yeah, and then it has a little connector so I can put her harness on and connect it to her so she can't jump out.
Do you think it's very safe?
I think so.
If you were in an accident, you think the dog would be okay?
I'd like to think so, yes.
Okay.
Isn't she?
Well, maybe not. According to a brand new Canine Automotive Restraint Crashworthiness Test done by the founder of the Center of Pet Safety, Lindsey Wolko, who's joining us, there's a 100% failure rate.
100%. There's not one out there that...
Well, let's find out. Okay. Hi, Lindsay. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
Very good. Tell us about your test and your study.
Well, in 2011, we did a pilot study where we sampled 12 different harnesses, tested the 4 strongest, the ones that we deemed based on how the consumer would see them. We had experts, engineering and survivability experts look at these products to help us select those. And from those tested, we had a 100% failure rate of those harnesses that were tested to provide protection to either the pet or the consumer if a crash occurred.
Now, that was in 2011. There's been a lot of advances, let us say.
There have been, yeah. So Subaru, actually, they found value in the work we were doing, and they have stepped up this year, and we are working right now on a 2013 harness study. It's more robust than that. We're looking across multiple sizes, across multiple brands. And for this, we were very selective in the products we chose. So we were looking solely at those products that are claiming testing, crash testing, and crash protection. And the good news for pet parents is that we are seeing better protection that's being afforded, but you have to be very discerning on how you shop for those products.
Now, are these restraint systems that you're seeing that are doing okay? Are they seat belts? Are they like car seats? What are they? What are they exactly?
Well, right, we categorize the products. So right now, what we are focusing on right now is just the harnesses themselves. We know that many of the other products out there, the add-on devices like, unfortunately, the booster seats and like the zipline style products and extension tethers that you buy aftermarket, if you will, don't have to go through testing. Many manufacturers do not test those products at all.
So I'm gathering that Subaru is trying to develop a seat that's going to be safe.
No, I think what they want to do is they just want to help give information to their constituency, to those people that travel with their pets. They value the safety of not only their consumer but also the pets that travel with their family. And I think it's solely that at this point in time.
Now, how do you test these? Do you use real dogs, or are there dog crash dummies?
I have developed, actually, our team has worked together very, very hard over the past few years. We have our second phase, our second round of crash test dogs that we have developed. And I have to tell you, these guys are really tough. They are heavily engineered. We worked with an engineer who works with NASA to help us kind of formulate how we're going to put them together. And we have currently 3 different sizes that we use. We have a 25, and we also have an alternate 20-pound, 45, and a 75-pound that we're using for this particular study. And we also have other dogs that we use for preliminary testing. And we have actually put a licensing agreement out there so manufacturers can actually license the use of these dogs.
Wow.
To test their own products.
I was a crash test dummy once for the Pinto brand.
We can tell. Huh?
Yes.
We can, yeah, we can.
You know what? I watched these videos, and it actually looked like some of these restraint systems would actually cause more harm than had the dog not been restrained at all. Is that true?
No, you want them to use a restraint. We want consumers and pet parents to use these products. Right now, manufacturers just don't have to test. None of these products have to meet any standards. There are no standards that exist. So that's what we're trying to do, is give consumers the confidence in the products that they're currently lacking. But no, you absolutely should use a restraint.
So you're not saying just because they don't work that we shouldn't use them anymore?
Well, again, we're testing them to an extreme crash condition. This is a 30 mile an hour. These products can potentially help protect your pet from short stops, and hopefully no one gets in that type of collision. But that's why we have guidance on our website right now, on our fact page, on how to guide consumers until we're done with the study, how to find those crash-tested harnesses, how to ask those questions of the manufacturers on the type of testing that they've done, so that you have some assurance that the products are going to hold up a little bit better.
What is that website?
It's centerforpetsafety.org, and you want to go to our fact page.
I'm going to put a link from animalradio.com right to the fact page. So if you're driving along right now, you want to see what Lindsey's talking about, head on over to Animal Radio and click the link to the Center for Pet Safety. And you know what? I think it's kind of cool what you're doing.
Oh, thank you. We hope people find value in it. We are currently working to fund a containment study. So we will look at rates, carriers, and barriers. And we're also looking to fund a study on animal flotation devices.
Well, let's stay in touch.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
There you go. Lindsey Wolko. She's the founder of the Center for Pet Safety, joining us here on Animal Radio.
You know what was real cool about that was that Subaru was really interested in that they care about, their consumers.
They know how many people have pets.
That's just really cool, though, that, that makes me want to buy a car from them.
Not me. I don't like Subarus.
Yeah, when a company cares about the people they're selling to, that makes me want to buy their product.
You have a Hummer, don't you, Doc?
No, I don't have a Hummer. That's like a total gas hog.
Well, that's the nickname she has for her husband.
Judy wants to talk technical stuff here.
Yeah, I know.
We're having all this fun.
Well, I'm sorry. Got to get this show going. I know. That's my job. Anyway.
Okay.
Hi, Liz.
Hi.
You wanted to talk to Dr. Debbie?
Sure.
Well, hi. What can I do for you?
Well, I have a German Shepherd who has degenerative myopathy, and people keep telling me when it's time for her to be put to sleep, she's going to let me know, because she's still acting like a puppy. She's still acting like she's the boss. She's eating. She just falls a lot. Like she'll fall down my steps.
Oh, dear.
We have a bi-level, so we have no step. I mean, we have no way to get in and out of the house besides going up and down the steps. I mean, she's going to, like, fall. She just sort of this Bambi thing down the steps.
Okay. Where her back feet kind of collapse under her. She's not falling down and tumbling down large amounts of stairs. That's what I was concerned about.
No.
Okay.
My dilemma is, when should I put her to sleep?
Yeah. The biggest problem with degenerative myelopathy, which basically this condition is a progressive deterioration of the coating along the spinal cord. So when that happens, dogs lose their function to their back legs. They can get wobbly, kind of crossing over with the back feet. They'll even scuffle their back feet and wear their toenails down. So that progresses to the point where they lose more and more control with the back legs. That eventually can progress up to the front legs as well. The good thing is that it's not painful, other than the secondary things that they do to themselves, dragging the top surfaces of the feet, getting pressure sores, things like that we have to deal with. So that tends to be the biggest part of kind of managing these babies. Now, I will tell you that one great thing in managing dogs with degenerative myelopathy is the benefit of physical therapy. Now, there is no cure for this condition, but we know that physical therapy can help give us more meaningful time, and it keeps them more ambulatory. It keeps them moving on those limbs in a meaningful way for a longer period of time. And there are some studies that have looked at this, and dogs in intense physical therapy can survive periods of time over 255 days of good quality time. But your question, basically, how do you know, and will she tell you? Gosh, in all my years, I don't feel that with this condition, the dogs really tell us, meaning that they accept that they're at that point. They're not in a lot of pain.
And she seems to be a little depressed, but not enough that she still isn't bossing. I have 2 other dogs. She's still bossing them around, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It is a disability, so it becomes more when we can't get up to do the bathroom needs, when we have secondary infections or pressure sores or things that are complicating their life. So, no, I don't feel that she's going to tell you when it's time. This is different than hip dysplasia. Hip dysplasia, the pets are in a lot of discomfort. They have kind of similar signs, but they're in a lot of pain. So she's not going to be in that category. So as her caretaker, you're going to need to watch out for that. When her quality of life, getting around, is limited, or when she is at a point where she may jeopardize her own safety, falling downstairs, getting into situations she cannot get out of, that is where the quality of life really becomes down. And I can tell you, we do this all the time, talking about, is it time? Someone who knows your pet's physical status at that moment can also help you greatly with this decision.
Shaquille O'Neal for new Icy Hot Advanced Cream.
I know all about living with pain. After 19 years of pro ball, man. But now I'm feeling awesome. New Icy Hot Advanced Relief is the real deal.
Icy Hot Advanced Cream has 2 maximum strength ingredients to last up to 50% longer. Works great on shoulders, backs, knees, even arthritis. Icy to dull the pain and hot to relax it away.
Come on now. Advance past pain and get on with living.
New Icy Hot Advanced. Available in cream and patch.
Pain over.
Use only as directed.
It's easy to find excuses to come back again and again to Buffalo Wild Wings this time of year. Host your draft party at Buffalo Wild Wings, and you could get an exclusive fantasy draft kit that includes gift certificates for $100 and free food at participating locations, and while supplies last, of course. A fantasy draft party with wings and beer. Yep, Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. This is your year. Sign up for Yahoo Fantasy Football and host your draft party at Buffalo Wild Wings. The league that eats together, wins together.
This is a referral service. Calls will be routed to an independent referral insurance agency.
Do you know the #1 cause of bankruptcy? No, it's not losing your job or running up credit card debt. It's not even divorce. It's medical costs. If you and your family don't have health insurance, just one serious illness or accident could be financially devastating. But now there's good news, really good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide health insurance for all Americans, even uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Now anyone can get health insurance even if you have a pre-existing medical condition. I repeat, now anyone can get health insurance coverage. Call now for a free no-obligation quote on affordable health plans available to you. Again, this is a free hotline for anyone, even if you have pre-existing conditions. Protect you and your family from sudden unexpected medical costs. Call the free health insurance hotline right now at 1-800-838-5562. That's 1-800-838-5562. Call 1-800-838-5562.
This is an Animal Radio News Update brought to you by Doctors Foster and Smith Pet Supplies, with thousands of quality products at low prices every day so you save on every order. Visit fosterandsmith.com.
I'm Stacey Cohen for Animal Radio. Well, you know what? Kim Kardashian and those royals over in Britain are not the only people that are giving birth lately. A giant panda is the happy mom of twins.
It's incredible to see the interest that pops up, with just a giant panda birth, let alone twins.
Dr. Dwight Lawson, he's with Zoo Atlanta. He said Loon Loon, who's a 15-year-old panda on loan from China, gave birth to the twins at the zoo. The zoo says the tiny babies are the first giant panda twins to be born in the U.S. since 1987. Loon Loon was reportedly to be in labor for barely 90 minutes. That compares with 36 hours for her first delivery in 2006. Well, that first one's always hard. You never want it to come out. You keep your legs crossed as long as you can. Acclaimed European chef David Fowler isn't worried about his diners finding a bug in their meals. In fact, he started intentionally adding a variety of creepy crawlies to the dishes that he serves at his restaurant in Nice, France. Among the new specialties are a dessert with crickets, which he likes for their popcorn flavor, and a cod dish with mealworms, which he claims adds a nice nutty tone to the fish. According to Orange News, he got this idea for his alternative foods menu while he was traveling to countries where citizens use insects in their everyday diets. He says the biggest obstacle in his quest to make his own cooking more adventurous was finding a reliable local supplier of edible insects. I don't know. Why can't you just try a new sauce? Why do you have to eat bugs? He's since solved that problem with the help of a nearby company. It raises their insects on organic vegetables. Nice. Scientists have discovered, just like humans, chimps and orangutans can apparently remember things that happened years ago in their lives. The ability to remember events from the remote past has been considered a defining feature of human nature, said this comparative psychologist, Gemma Martin Ortis. She's from Denmark. Now she and her colleagues have found that chimps and orangutans can also recall distant memories. In experiments with 15 chimps and 4 orangutans, the scientists tested whether the animals could remember events they experienced years ago. Well, 3 years prior to this, they had watched researchers hide tools that the chimpanzees and orangutans needed to grab rewards that were otherwise out of their reach. Well, as the apes looked on, the researchers repeated hiding the tools a total of 4 times. In the new experiments, the scientists had the apes carry out the exact same tasks in the same room with the same experimenters. Just one exception. All the apes tested recalled where the tools were hidden, and they reached their reward. So it's amazing. This is the first study showing that chimps and orangutans remember personal past events that took place a long time ago when they're presented with appropriate cues. I guess elephants aren't the only ones who never forget. I'm Stacey Cohen. Get more animal breaking news at animalradio.com.
This has been an Animal Radio News Update brought to you by Doctors Foster and Smith Pet Supplies. Visit fosterandsmith.com for pet supplies selected by veterinarians with 100% satisfaction guaranteed.
Doctors Foster and Smith, your trusted source for quality, affordable pet supplies. Veterinarian owned with veterinary expertise behind every product. Doctors Foster and Smith has thousands of name brand pet products, including pet medications, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Low prices every day so you save on every order with free shipping on orders $49 or more. Fast service delivered right to your door. Shop online at fosterandsmith.com because your pet's health and happiness come first.
Because you've booked with Booking.com, you, freedom lover, are on the road and carefree. You're not worried that dealership billboards spoil beautiful views or that the fresh, cool breeze gives you a mouthful of fumes. No, because you know in just a few more miles, you'll be free to rock around in the perfect booking hotel, treehouse, or rustic cottage of your dreams. Thanks to Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site, Booking.com. Booking.yeah!
This is a referral service. Calls will be routed to an independent referral insurance agency.
Do you know the #1 cause of bankruptcy? No, it's not losing your job or running up credit card debt. It's not even divorce. It's medical costs. If you and your family don't have health insurance, just one serious illness or accident could be financially devastating. But now there's good news, really good news. A health insurance hotline has been established to provide health insurance for all Americans, even uninsured Americans with pre-existing conditions. Now anyone can get health insurance even if you have a pre-existing medical condition. I repeat, now anyone can get health insurance coverage. Call now for a free no-obligation quote on affordable health plans available to you. Again, this is a free hotline for anyone, even if you have pre-existing conditions. Protect you and your family from sudden unexpected medical costs. Call the free health insurance hotline right now at 1-800-838-5562. That's 1-800-838-5562. Call 1-800-838-5562.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Call the Dream Team now at 1-866-405-8405.
It is toll-free, 1-866-405-8405. To the Dream Team, Dr. Debbie answering your vet medical questions, dog trainer Alan Cable, dog father Joey Villani, and animal communicator Joy Turner all here at your beck and call. You know, every once in a while we love to feature some outstanding people in the industry. Today we're featuring Beth Stern. Hi, Beth. How are you doing?
Hi.
You are doing so many things. You're keeping pretty darn busy, aren't you?
Oh, my goodness. Right now, I'm fostering a litter of 4 kittens and a mama cat and her additional 3 kittens. So I'm busy being a kitten foster parent this summer.
Does that all happen at your house there?
It does. Yeah, our house is, well, we have 4 rescued cats from the North Shore Animal League that we've accumulated over the last 5 years. So 4 cats in 5 years, and we've always rescued adult cats. So they fill our house with so much love. But we decided, well, just in light of kitten season and these summer months, every shelter is so overpopulated with cats right now that I decided to take a friend from North Shore Animal League. We went into a local municipal shelter and grabbed a litter of kittens, and my husband, Howard Stern, and I fostered them, and it was so rewarding. He mentioned it on his radio show. We got over 100 applications from wonderful people that wanted to adopt, and I reviewed these people and screened them with North Shore Animal League. We found 6 kittens, wonderful homes, so I decided when I delivered the kittens to the new families, and I decided right then and there, let's grab another litter, and then on top of that, I grabbed this mama cat and her babies, so we've been so busy, but it's been so much fun.
Well, I got to ask you this question. I don't picture Howard, and I promised myself I wasn't going to ask you anything about Howard, but I don't
Please, he's my favorite thing to talk about other than animals.
I don't expect him to be like a cat guy, you know?
Oh, my goodness. He's right there with me. I mean, I do the hard work. I'm cleaning the litter boxes 100 times a day. It's amazing how often kittens poop. But he's right there. He photographs them. He names them. He actually cried like a baby the other day when I handed off, when he had to say goodbye the day that I had to hand off the first litter to their new families. He's really incredible with them and fell in love with them as quickly as I did.
Now, do you consider yourself a cat person or a dog person?
Equal opportunity. Growing up, my family, we always had rescued animals. I mean, guinea pigs, we had little chickens, we always had 2 cats, and we always had a dog in our household. So I don't love one more than the other. I love all animals. And right today is actually a really sad day. It's 1 year since our beloved Bianca, our bulldog, passed away. So it's a little bit of an emotional day for me, and I'm really happy to have these kittens to fill all my attention.
Well, let's dedicate today's show to that. Okay,
I love that. I love that. That makes me really happy. Thank you.
How was your transition at home? Because, listen, I grew up in New Jersey, so I was a big Howard fan, and I know before he met you, he didn't really have pets until you guys got your bulldogs.
That's
so how
not
was that
true.
whole transition?
He had a black lab named Java, and she recently passed away. We were very close with her and his kids, and ended up living with his children on Long Island. And he also has had a cat that passed away as well. So he did have cats with his children on Long Island before he met me.
You know, we all spoil our animals. What do you do to spoil your animals? What kind?
Oh my gosh!
What's
I
the
have to
wackiest
laugh
thing?
because we have these 4 cats, and our one cat Leon Bear is 22 pounds, and he sleeps in the bed with Howard and me. And I have to say, he takes up more space than I do. And I think all pet lovers and people that have pets can relate. And there are so many nights where I have the worst night's sleep because Leon Bear is comfortable, and I'm on the edge of the bed. And I always put my pet's comfort first. And I think all of us can relate to that.
Well, why is it that the cats sleep sideways? You know, they don't sleep lengthwise with us. They have to sleep sideways, but yet his head manages to be on my pillow. So imagine that.
So how many animals are in the bed at one time at night, would you say?
Well,
besides Howard?
We usually have Leon Bear and Walter and Apple sleeping on the bed with us, so that's 3. And Charlie Boy, he's really fat. He's our most recent rescue, and he came to us fat, and we're working on having him lose some weight. He's another rescue that we adopted from North Shore Animal League, and he can't jump, so he's on the floor beside the bed. So to answer your question, 3 cats in bed with us at night.
See, I think I'm looking at this picture of Charlie Boy right now. I'll hold it up to the microphone so listeners can see. He is big.
He's a big boy. He's 18 pounds, but not as big as Leon, so he's more, he's definitely fat as opposed to Leon's just a big guy.
We just got this email from a listener who's complaining because her cat is upsetting her boyfriend. When they make love, apparently she allows the cat to be in the room right there, and it ruins the mood, apparently.
We tend to remove the cats from the bedroom when we have that time together, and then as soon as it's over, when we're about to cuddle, the doors are opened again.
They don't go scratching at the doors and all that?
Oh, yeah, Charlie just meows, and then Leon bashes into the door, so, you just have to deal with it.
You get immune to it.
Yeah, you just ignore them.
You just ignore them.
The television show, what was it, Nat Geo's Spoiled Rotten Pets, are you still doing that?
You know what? It was only supposed to be 1 season, but I love doing it so much. I was secretly hoping that it was going to go for another season, but it ran its course, and I'm still going to be doing some things for Nat Geo Wild. I love that network. Really proud to have been on it and hoping to do more work with them.
What kind of spoiled animals did you find on that show?
Oh, my goodness. There were a pair of pigs, Wilma and Pebbles, that lived inside with the couple. They were pot-bellied pigs. They slept in bed with the couple. They were completely housebroken. They were just really remarkable. I never had spent time with pigs before, but I ended up taking the pigs for a day because the couple had never spent a night on a date without being with the pigs. So I sent them on a romantic date. I took the girls to this pig spa in Pennsylvania, and I gave them facials. I exfoliated their piggy skin. I gave them massages. It was such a fun day for me.
And there was actually a pig spa out there. There really is a.
It was actually a pig sanctuary where a lot of people see these cute little teacup pigs and think they're going to stay little, and pigs don't stay little if you feed them. So there are a lot of pigs that end up in rescues, and there's this beautiful sanctuary in Pennsylvania that acts as a place where these pigs can live, and also is a piggy spa for people that have pigs for them to spend the day there. It's very cute.
Well, we're almost out of time here, but I want you to tell listeners about North Shore Animal League and how they can help out.
Oh, my gosh, I'm so proud. I've been the spokesperson, a volunteer with the North Shore Animal League America for 10 years now, and they're the largest no-kill adoption organization in the world. The bottom line is my mission is just to spread the word, to adopt from your local shelter. Buying from pet stores is just facilitating this horrible, wretched cycle that of puppy mills, which I'm sure you guys touched base on a gazillion times.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're adopting from a shelter, you're saving 2 lives, the one that you're adopting, and you're opening up space for someone else to come in.
All doing good work, both you and North Shore Animal League. We'll put links over at animalradio.com. Beth Stern, thank you. Do you like Beth O or Beth Stern? We couldn't figure that out there.
My husband and I it was my birthday the other night, and we had this exact conversation. He took me out, romantic dinner, and he said, "What's with this Beth O still going on? It's been 5 years." So I am officially saying that I no longer want to be referred to as Beth O. I am Beth Stern.
There you go. Beth Stern on Animal Radio. I appreciate you taking time to visit with us today.
Thank you so much. You guys are great. I really appreciate it.
This is Glenn Close on Animal Radio, and remember how very, very important it is to spay or neuter your pet.
You're listening to Animal Radio. Find us at animalradio.com. Log on, learn more.
This portion of Animal Radio is brought to you by Stella and Chewy's. They have the brand new intro pack for $4.99. Find out which flavor your dog likes, either the Chewy's Chicken Dinner, the Simply Venison Dinner, Stella's Super Beef, or the Duck Duck Goose, or now the Phenomenal Pheasant. All good flavors, and of course, this is a raw diet, no antibiotics, no grains, no fillers. The official food of Ladybug, the studio stunt dog. It is Stella and Chewy's. Learn more at stellaandchewy's.com. Hey, Violet, how are you doing?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Where are you calling from today?
California, over in Arcadia.
What's going on? What's the animals
I have
okay?
a puppy here I'm babysitting, and she's actually eating poop.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yummy stuff, isn't it?
Yes, I ask her every single time.
Is she eating her own poop or other dogs' poop?
Other dogs' poop.
Okay, so she's not
name
your
of my
dog?
new dog food.
ODP?
And so she's not your dog, she's just in your care for some time?
No, I have her for 2 months.
All right, well, you got a little time you can work with this. And eating poop is definitely a very normal behavior that dogs have. You have to remember our dogs are not some kind of weirdos. This is actually a normal behavior that the mother dog does when she has little newborns. She has to lick and clean their backsides and ingest their urine and feces. So that's kind of what they have to do to stimulate them and also to keep those predators away and keep all those signals away from those predators. The trick is there is no single trick. a lot of it gets down to supervision and redirecting attention to other things. So for me, it's all about exhausting a puppy, not letting them get bored, and hanging out around the stool. So pick it up, and definitely supervise the dog when they're out in the potty area. But really, we have to exhaust dogs, get them tired, and if she does go run into the poop, I don't make a big deal about it. I just kind of redirect. I carry a squeaky toy and go squeaky, 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 and I make the dog follow me. So for me, that's kind of my big thing and how I like to manage that. And then just not chasing them, because that definitely will make the game more fun. Okay. And Alan, do you have anything?
Just everything you said is right on. I mean, people get so freaked out when they see dogs eating poop or humping other dogs, and that is just normal dog behavior. To people, it's very disgusting and gross, but to dogs, it's like a regular everyday thing. And you just have to teach them that that's not a behavior that you want, but you have to go about it calmly, and you have to be very, like Dr. Debbie said, redirect them when they're puppies, because they got the attention span of it's like a 1 second attention span. So just redirect them, correct them gently, and bring them to something else, and do it over and over and over. And like Dr. Debbie said, supervise them. If you're not there to supervise the dog at all times and you're trying to correct a problem, it's not going to work. So when you can't supervise, keep that dog attached to you by a leash or put him in a kennel or a crate so that he can't do the behavior, okay? And make sure he can't do the behavior, and pick it up as quickly as possible, too, just like Dr. Debbie said. That's all good stuff.
She'll play and play and play and play, and then suddenly she decides when she gets bored, she just wants to go over and see what that person's doing, and when they're taking a poop, I'm like, no, and then she walks away. Or
did you say people were taking poops?
It's funny, but I've just never seen them go to town on it.
They do. There's something just delightful. And, cat poop is even better. So I guess you should be thankful it's just the dog poop.
I'm glad, yeah.
You're listening to Animal Radio. If you missed any part of today's show, visit us at animalradio.com or download the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android.
Don't forget, you can listen to any of the past Animal Radio shows or even ask your questions from the Animal Radio app for iPhone and Android. Download it now. It is a free download. And it's brought to you by our friends at FlexRx. Like people, as dogs get older, arthritis really is the most common problem they face. And FlexRx doesn't just mask those symptoms, it restores natural joint function. FlexRx, available at pet shops and retailers across the country. Thanks, guys, for sponsoring Animal Radio. And we go to Christy. Hey, Christy.
Hi.
Where are you today?
I am shopping for countertops for our new bathroom.
Oh, nice.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
So what's going on?
Well, we have, of course, as everybody thinks so, the world's most adorable Labradoodle. But he does fall short in becoming when he's called Arena. And I think we trained him so hard when he was young that he stopped coming unless you give him food.
He doesn't come unless you actually have a treat.
Yes, but I mean, in everything else, he's just amazing. But it scares us because we're buying a new home and it's a new area and it's not safe for him. And and just the other day he darted out into the street and he wouldn't come back.
That is very scary. You know, first of all, I just want to say thank you for caring enough about your dog to actually look for help. We could probably spend a whole show talking about teaching your dog how to come. So let's talk about what not to do first and think about how dogs think. First of all, you should never call your dog to do something that your dog doesn't enjoy, like giving her a bath or, ignoring her when she comes or maybe, taking her and putting her in her crate if she doesn't like being in there. Anything she doesn't like, you should never call her when you're going to do that because that will teach her that when she comes to you, something unpleasant's going to happen. So you always want to do the exact opposite and try never to get frustrated when your dog doesn't come to you. Whenever your dog comes to you, it's like a parade. It's like a celebration. It's like, good dog! And there are little games. Are there a lot of people in your family?
Well, we have a 12-year-old daughter and a 14-year-old boy. So I think my dog is beautifully trained. It's just the family that doesn't have a clue.
Yeah, well, it's tough. When people are inconsistent, it's tough, Another thing to avoid doing is when you call your dog, don't do it repeatedly. Just call your dog one time and then try a second time more firm. And if your dog ignores you, then pretty much all you can do is walk up and try to get the dog. If the dog runs away, don't chase him. Try running the opposite direction. And if that doesn't work, just ignore your dog. Because when you call a dog and a dog doesn't come over and over and over, you're teaching the dog that basically not to respond when you call her. And another thing you have to remember is to set your dog and yourself up for success. So if you call your dog when your dog is doing something really interesting, like playing with another dog or running to greet somebody or maybe there's pizza being eaten, and your dog's chasing after that, whatever a dog is interested in, whenever a dog is interested in something going on, you're setting yourself up for failure when you call your dog because your dog is not going to pay attention. Most won't. And another thing to remember is there's no such thing as 100% guarantee that your dog will come no matter what dog it is because dogs are not machines and they're unpredictable, so they don't always come when you call them. So there are little things you can do to teach your dog to come to you and to respect you. There are games I like to play, but it all starts on a leash. The more time your dog spends on a leash with you, the better. And the more calm your dog is when you teach your dog things, the better. So the time not to attempt to teach your dog something is when your dog is excited and jumping and running and playing. The time to teach your dog something and to give your dog affection is when your dog is calm, just laying there. The more affection you give your dog when your dog is calm, the more calm your dog is going to learn to be over time. So you pay no attention to your dog when your dog is jumping around excited, and you give your dog lots of attention when your dog is being mellow and calm. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So, when your dog is mellow and calm, dogs love structure and routine. So, every single day at the same time, if you could spend 10 to 15 minutes with your dog teaching your dog to come, you will see amazing results. And the best way to do that is to put your dog in a quiet room with no people, like the garage, for about 10 minutes. Then go get your dog, and if the dog starts jumping around when you come to get your dog, turn around, walk away, and close the door. And do it over and over, because your dog's 10 months old, did you say?
Yes.
Do it over and over again until your dog just sits there and is calm. Then put the collar on. If the dog starts jumping around again, just put your hands up in the air and stand there, look straight ahead, don't move until your dog gets calm again. And it's a step-by-step process. It takes a lot of patience. Eventually, you're gonna take your dog outside into the yard to go to the bathroom, and after your dog goes to the bathroom, you're gonna say, "Good dog," and you're gonna have a 10-foot leash. And you're basically just going to let your dog do his thing. You're going to sit in a chair or you're going to stand there and you're going to give the come command. Come. Give him a gentle tug on the leash. And if he doesn't come to you, you're just going to reel him in like a fish. And when he gets near you, you're going to go, "Good dog." And you might have to do this for about a week. It might have to do it for
leash long enough.
10 foot. 10 foot is good. 16 feet, something like that. And you're pretty much going to stand there like a statue, stationary. And you're going to give your dog the come command once or twice and then reel him in like a fish. But when he gets to you, you're going to be good. Even if you have to kind of drag him, you're going to be like, "Good dog." No treat, though, just a pet. And then just turn around and pay no attention to him. Let him do his own thing. I think you're a smart lady, and I think you can do it. Just remember, your dog's not a person. He's not a human. They're not motivated like people are, and they don't have people emotions. So you have to learn to kind of get inside his head, which is not that difficult if you pay attention to his body language, how he moves, how he looks at you. Whenever your dog is staring at you for long periods of time, he's looking for leadership. That's why they stare at you.
Okay, because when he comes he also doesn't come in the house. He'll stand at the door. He'll just stand there and we'll say, come on in, Chevy. And he just stands there and looks at us.
Think of it from your dog's point of view. Your dog has mastered manipulating you in that way. He's learned that when he... See? So your dog has learned that when he stands at the door, you react and give him attention. Is that not true?
Correct.
Okay, so now when your dog stands at the door, what are you going to do next time?
Just walk away.
Absolutely.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. And do not forget that the Animal Radio app, your answer, it's a free download for iPhone and Android. You can listen to the show anytime, even ask your questions right from the Animal Radio app. I have it on my phone. Do you have it?
I do have it on mine. Of course I do.
You don't even have a smartphone, Alan, do you?
No, I don't. I don't believe in smart things.
We'll catch you next week. We'll be live from Super Zoo and the new Pet Products Special. We'll have great giveaways for you. All the new stuff before they're in the stores will be in your house. Yes.
Bye-bye.
This is Animal Radio Network.